Canada just dropped the worst unemployment report in 4 years, the worst since 2021 during the pandemic. And you've also got the bond market that is now predicting an interest rate cut. That is not the mainstream media, that's the bond market. So that's something that we need to pay attention to, and we'll get into in a second here. So Canada's economy just lost 66,000 jobs in August as unemployment rate climbed more than expected. Once again, the banks were just way off with their forecasts on what this jobs report was going to be like. This is the second really bad jobs report that has come out, and it's the worst since 2022. So if we go over and look at the unemployment change, you can see here, this is the report, August 2025, 65,500 jobs lost, and that is the worst since January 2022. And you've just got to think about what was happening during that time, and you basically now got the unemployment rate skyrocketing to a 7.1%, which is the highest since 2021 when the economy was shut down because of the pandemic. It is absolutely fucking crazy. If anybody is not calling this a recession, then they are completely loco. So anyway, let's get right into what is going on here. And I first just want to show this. This is something that Shazzy posted on, but it shows the kind of depression and the job market that people are facing here.
I graduated in June and I can't find a job. I have been applying every single day, LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever the fuck. And it feels like this is just a problem that keeps getting bigger and bigger. Every single person I ask for references, for advice, for my resume, whatever. But people are just saying that no one can find a job right now. People who are getting bachelor's, master's, those people can't find jobs. No one can find a job.
Yeah, and it is a situation that is getting way worse. And guys, you are going to laugh your head off at this because I found this fucking hilarious. Just take a listen to this.
Okay, let's talk housing. Some new numbers out from Remax Canada find a majority of Canadians are feeling good about dipping into the housing market for the fall. But there's an asterisk for here in the GTHA.
So joining us live this morning is Don Kotick, president of Remax.
So you basically got a load of people that are optimistic right now about the housing market. I mean, this is real home prices for Canada, and they're heading down to like 2017, 2018 levels. If you look at Better Dwelling, they put out a great article about this, but the unemployment rate is heading up, and we're going to get into the provincial breakdown and some of the huge losses because manufacturing jobs have just absolutely collapsed since the start of this year. There are some things in here which are really quite shocking when you look at what's going on here. So it's absolutely crazy, but employment fell by 23,000 in transportation and warehousing in August. Why is that a big deal? Because obviously if trucks aren't going out, if goods aren't being delivered, that is just a key indicator that your economy is slowing down. And it's not just Canada that's experiencing this, it's the global economy as a whole. The United States is also heading into a recession, and that is Canada's biggest trading partner, like it or not. So that just means worse picture ahead for Canada. And when you look at what's going on here, I mean, it's absolutely insane. So there were fewer people working in manufacturing in August, but get this, compared with the recent peak of January 2025, employment in manufacturing has declined by 58,000. 3.1% of the workforce in manufacturing has been wiped out since January. That is a huge statistic right there. And get this, employment rose in construction in August, offsetting the decline. But you've just got to really think, is construction really going to be in a good place when you look at everything else that's going on? We're in that doom loop, and even the industry themselves is saying 800,000 jobs are at risk in construction, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better anytime soon. We're going to get onto the temporary foreign worker program because there's big calls to end that program, and obviously if that ends as well, that's going to mean less investors buying houses for students. Well, these these shitbox condos anyway, and that is going to mean more problems for the construction industry, more jobs lost. In the long term, ending that program is a really good thing, and we'll get into that as well. But it's just absolutely crazy what is going on. And now I want to show you what happened in Alberta, because this is big news. Like, Alberta's unemployment rate is up to 8.4% now. That is the highest of all the populous provinces in Canada. It's higher than Ontario, and it has shot up since July. So Alberta's unemployment rate is now at 8.4%, and you've already got those housing markets that are really turning, especially in Calgary. And, you know, there has been so much speculation in there, and I feel sorry for all those people who were duped into moving to Calgary from Ontario and buying a house, because they're about to just get spanked. They're about to get their ass handed to them. They are about to get wrecked. And once again, just don't believe the government. I mean, I'm so sick of saying this, but I don't care if it's a conservative or a liberal or anybody. If it's a politician, just don't believe anything that comes out of their mouths. And they were saying, move to Alberta, you'll have a better life, you'll have a bigger income, and you'll be laid off next year. Fucking great one. Great one. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy what these governments do. And then if you look at the breakdown here, so professional, scientific, and technical services lost a lot of jobs. Transportation and warehousing, which we talked about, manufacturing, educational services, other services, natural resources obviously taking a hit. Oil is going to continue going down. The trend is going to be down if the global economy is slowing, and that's what we're seeing. So that's going to mean more layoffs for these provinces that depend on natural resources. So it's all well and good saying we want to boost our natural resource exports, but guess what? Into a slowing economy, who's going to subsidize that? It would have to be the government. And then basically these are the breakdowns for the big cities here. So you got Toronto at 8.9% unemployment, Edmonton 8.5%, Calgary 7.7%, Montreal 6.8%, Ottawa 6.7%. Windsor is at 11.1% now. And I laugh about that because that was the center of speculation in 2020. And you've got Oshawa 9%, Kitchener 7.1%, Niagara 7%, and Hamilton 6.9%. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Now let's get on to what's going on with the temporary foreign worker program. You've even got the lefty BC Premier demanding an end to the temporary foreign worker program, which I find interesting. This is what Carnage had to say about this, posted by Mark Nixon here.
Which is that that program has a role. It has to be focused in terms of its role. And it's part of what we're reviewing. It's part of what we will be discussing, how well the temporary foreign worker program is working and how our overall immigration system is working. We've been absolutely clear as a government that we want, and we're putting in place policies so that the overall level of immigration as a proportion of the population will decline from around 7% today to around 5% several years from now.
And you are seeing population growth, which is slowing down and grinding to a halt right now. And I reckon it would be a great thing long term. I think they should probably pause this program immediately, at least for a year, and then see what happens. But yeah, this program has been massively exploited by the absolute corruption that is out there. And a lot of this corruption, I hate to say it goes on in a certain country. I'm not going to name it because you all know it anyway. And that corruption has been imported now into Canada, along with a load of fraud, because in that country, fraud is common as fuck. And now it's common as fucking Canada. So it's just what you import, right? If you import a load of the third world, guess what? You become it. And that's exactly what is happening. All these home invasions that are going on in places like Ontario and across the country. And then if people try and fight back against it, they're the ones that get thrown in jail. I mean, it's just a clown country beyond belief right now. And then you've got the backdrop. This is just going to to continue because the economy, as we're discussing here, it's getting way worse. People are losing more and more jobs, and this is accelerating, and this is something we've talked about for a long time. It's something that was going on before the tariffs. The mainstream media is going to be hammering this into you that it's all to do with Donald Trump, it's all to do with the tariffs. No, it's fucking not. The economy was very weak before that because it was based on the housing market and a government bubble. Both are imploding at the same time. So that makes the economy weak. And then you add in the tariffs. Oh, yeah, you're just attacking something that's weak to begin with. Yeah, it's going to have massive consequences. And yeah, the tariffs obviously have an effect on the Canadian economy. And that's big because it's the biggest trading partner. It's the biggest trading partner that Canada has, the United States, but it's not the only reason. Again, you only have to look at that unemployment rate that started going up in 2023, and manufacturing jobs peaked in 2025. And then Mr. Sunshine Baby posted this, which is absolutely hilarious.
I'm going to be quite frank and honest. We are, the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre and MP Rempel are treading a very dangerous line of what I'm going to call a dog whistle of racism. Because if you want to have a conversation about the fact that we have an issue with immigration, we do. Not because they're immigrants and they're coming in and taking away. It's because our society and our system hasn't kept up. We don't have...
You know what's hilarious is these liberals actually make it racist because they're the ones that bring race into it. There are loads of temporary foreign workers that come into Canada that are white people as well. So to say it's racist is just absolutely hilarious. And nobody has brought race into this apart from the liberals. So it's just absolutely hilarious once again what is going on. But the pushback against the temporary foreign worker program just increases. But in my mind, I'm like, why the fuck now? You know, why not in 2021 and in 2022 when immigration was absolutely skyrocketing? I mean, it's so late to the party and you've already got the consequences of basically a bad economy weighing on the amount of students that are coming. That's already sent the population growth that is grinding to a halt. And now they're going to come in and say, oh yeah, we're going to end this program just when everything's slowing down anyway and everybody can see the writing on the wall. And then it's absolutely hilarious. I saw this posted by the Elevate podcast. Whoops, it would appear that 2014 Justin Trudeau agrees with Pierre Poilievre. I can't pronounce his second name. I'm forever butchering that. On the failure of the temporary foreign worker program. And then he put temporary foreign worker program lowers Canadian wages and exploits vulnerable people. It needs to be fixed. This was posted in 2014. And I actually think, you know, what you should learn from a post like this is, like I said, never ever trust a politician. I don't care which side of the aisle they sit on. When they talk, who gives a shit? It's what they actually do that matters. They can talk all they like about different shit, but it's whether they actually take any action. You know, a lot of people in their life just love to talk, but just can't follow through on anything. And this is the exact same thing in politics. In fact, it has become like an epidemic in politics. It's just absolutely insane. And then you've got the Canadian dollar, which is really interesting. It's actually turned now on the day. Earlier it was up, but you know, it's not actually down that much considering everything that's going on. But the big news here is what is going on with the bonds, because the bonds on the Canadian side are absolutely tanking. At least they were. So basically, I want to look at the 6-month bond here. So let's see if I can find it. So yeah, the 6-month is absolutely tanking. It has dropped from around 2.62% and it's now at 2.56%. This is a big move for that, considering nothing has really happened with the Bank of Canada. And it's really the front end of the curve that is dropping. What does that mean in layman terms? It basically means that the probability of the Bank of Canada cutting rates is just increasing and increasing. Now, I believe we've got a CPI report in between when they have their next announcement. So it could obviously change before then, but it's very interesting. And usually I pay more attention to this and the bond market than what what is going on with the mainstream media speculating and all these banks and economists. And guys, you have to remember as well, even if rate cuts come in, they're going to come in and say this is going to ignite the economy and this is going to be everything that Canada needs to get going. It's not going to work. And the thing is, you've got so much high unemployment, and even if they drop rates right now to 2%, to 1.5%, the long end may not follow that. So that might mean mortgage rates still stay high. And not only that, when you're losing this many jobs, there's a lag effect until this kicks in, just like when they were increasing rates. So they could go ahead and drop rates, but when you've got unemployment that is rising as fast as it is right now, this is a major, major issue for the Canadian economy. And the Canadian economy, it's been imploding for a long time. But now even the broken jobs numbers from the government show it. Because guys, this is produced on a telephone survey, this labor report. So it's far from an accurate representation of what's going on with jobs numbers, but basically it just shows you a trend, and the trend is up and up and up. Just like in the housing market, the trend is down and down and down. And with real home prices, I think that's what Canada will be seeing for the best part of a decade. Even if housing prices turn, that'll probably mean, because there's a lot of inflation, and then there'll be higher rates that will accompany that at a later point. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But what do you think of what Remax said? Do you think that they're really going to see a turnaround now in the fall, where more and more people are being laid off every single day and people can't find a job in the shit economy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I wish you a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being on this stream today.